In this video, I'm gonna talk about some clues I found that may hint towards Chapter 3 being the update to completely transform Raft as we know it. What if Chapter 3 brings the changes we need to put Raft into a proper industrial climate? This isn't even my craziest thought either, but we'll save that one for later. This industrial climate theory has some proof behind it too. Recently, this anchor was shown to the Raft community as another Raft Chapter 3 sneak peek, but I think this image actually gave us a real insight into what Chapter 3 may be all about. Any kind of new machinery that Chapter 3 introduces could come in many forms. Specialized items to do things that we usually can't, so for example oil refineries, crushers, any kind of physical object that'll do the work for us basically. I'll leave my favorite idea till last, but to start, what about upgraded furnaces? Perhaps industrial standard super smelters that can smelt 4 or 5 items at a time, and it's safe to say that that would be a huge upgrade from the 1 item per furnace we've currently got. And now for something that is actually confirmed to be in Chapter 3, a recycler. Now, before you go to the comments to tell me I'm wrong, what's the scrap cube crusher then? I mean, okay, it's not a conventional recycler, but it literally works by taking our trash and plastic and recycling it into scrap cubes. Sounds good enough to me, but that's just a couple of examples of the type of on-Raft machinery that I think we'll be able to get our hands on in the next Raft update. There's a reason that this is so exciting. Currently, there is only really one way to get rich, and that's gathering a bunch of metal and titanium through both metal detecting and scavenging every island you see. But with this new machinery such as scrap cube crushers combined with the trading outpost, will give new ways to get rich in Raft. Imagine being able to get a full chest of metal ingots without even mining a single piece of ore. Now for my favorite idea, a conveyor belt, which actually ties into automation as well. I've spoken about automation on the channel all too often, but conveyor belts could be a way of implementing third-party item transferring systems while still keeping within the theme of Raft. You can't lie to me, rudimentary conveyor belts would look awesome, and if that doesn't work, perhaps Redbeat might go for a system similar to Minecraft. Using hoppers? Who knows, but I hope something like this is in the plans. And one more point regarding automation could be the implementation of solar panels, windmills, or anything else that'd give us the ability to have renewable energy 24/7. But how would this be helpful? Well, biofuel would no longer become the only type of fuel in Raft, and more ways to play the game is always good, but even better, energy can obviously be converted to electricity and stored in electric batteries, and that'd mean we could have infinite charge on the electric purifier, for example. As right now, once you reach endgame in Raft, the entire focus shifts towards maintaining your Raft and replacing batteries every 2 minutes. Now, Chapter 3 will already improve this by adding the new battery, but this system I'm talking about could take it to a whole new level. And since we're already talking about it, electricity. Would it change Raft for the better? Let me know in the comments, because I think it really would. Whether we like it or not, Raft can't stay primitive for life. Something has to evolve, and I think electricity is that next step that I believe Chapter 3 will take. Obviously, take that with a pinch of salt, because implementing electricity into any game is never an easy feat. So whether Redbeat are focusing on that kind of thing is unknown, but I hope they've at least thought about it. Now, mix electricity and automation together, and we'll be able to make the most crazy factory rafts ever, mass producing every renewable material in existence. However, if you're still not on board yet, remember that making these energy producers, solar panels and so on, would hopefully be super expensive. Same with electricity and wires. So grinding to get this new equipment wouldn't be easy for sure, but it would be so worth it in the long run. Sustainability, something that comes in so many forms, but I'll start with something that I think might be introduced in Chapter 3. Animals and farming renewability. If you didn't know, both of these things currently aren't sustainable, at least not easily. You need to keep gathering seeds at every island you visit, and breeding animals isn't even an option in Raft. Imagine the seed drop chance that we have right now was bumped up to 100% or even more, so that each time we harvest a plant or tree, we'll be able to plant another one with ease. However, I can't say that the seed drop chance doesn't make sense right now, because fruit and trees are so popular. Practically every single island has at least 1 or 2 of each type, but what if that changed? Imagine fruit was harder to find, or at least certain fruit, and the seed drop chance was like 90% for example, meaning once you had one, you were then ultimately set for life, unless your luck was really bad. And there's gotta be a small chance for the plant to drop double seeds. That would be perfect. What about the animals though? Maybe not the rare ones, but imagine being able to actually breed goats in order to create an entire sanctuary aboard your raft. And with that electricity and automation we mentioned earlier, that grass they're eating right now can automatically be rejuvenated without having to replace any batteries every 5 minutes. And then with those animals, you could kindly slaughter them and cook their food on a crazily upgraded grill with space for 10 steaks. I doubt that the grill would actually look like this, but I think it's essentially confirmed that we'll be getting some kind of cooking hob or at least an oven in Chapter 3, since we've got an electric purifier but no electric grill yet. And this goes for a lot of different stuff, like the furnaces, collection nets, and much more. We've spoke a lot about resource hoarding today, ways to make passive income possible in Raft. But when you add the possibility for passive income into a game, I feel like you also need to add something to stop that, or a thing that could halt all of your progress, because it's no fun being at the top with nothing even challenging you, which is why I think Raft Chapter 3 might finally bring random events that will spawn hostile creatures to combat you and your raft. It may sound optimistic, but the richer we get, the harder it should be to survive. And let's be honest, once you get to endgame, Bruce just doesn't cut it anymore. He can't chew through reinforced foundations, and he's not even that much of a threat if you know how to fight him properly. So what about a kraken? Something so big it could damage our raft and break our chests, maybe even break foundations. Of course there has to be a way to combat a big creature like this, but with all the new weaponry being added in the next update, I feel like we'd be up for the challenge. Would you guys want to randomly bump into a huge kraken in your raft adventures? I really feel like something along these lines is needed in the game. And how about changing the way grass is currently implemented into the game? And I'm not talking about the grass on islands, instead the grass on your raft. While the current method is pretty cool, I feel like grass should just act like any other foundation, meaning anything can be placed on it, and you can also get grass triangles, since currently that isn't even a thing, which makes grass a lot less viable when it comes to a decoration piece. And while we're on the topic about Chapter 3, you guys definitely need to keep an eye out on this website called Steam Database. Simply search up Raft and click on the history on the left hand side. This will then show you when and where things change in the game files. And recently, some things have actually been going on. A few language files have been changed and a couple descriptions have been altered, which could possibly indicate the production of Chapter 3, i.e. the trailer and actual advertisement, may have actually begun. And that is really exciting. But I'm sure you guys are still wondering, when will Chapter 3 actually come out though? Well, it is confirmed that Chapter 3 will come out in 2022, so there's at least one guarantee. But with the recent movement in game files, I truly think we are maybe 1 month away from a proper announcement. And by that I mean a huge dev blog, a groundbreaking trailer, and perhaps even a release date. But only time will tell.